Good morning, students. This is your faculty Neha. Welcome back to the BRGS online classes. Kids, today we will be starting with a new chapter of sociology, and the name of the chapter is Types of Society. In today's class, we will learn about the meaning and types of society, the pastoral society, agricultural society, industrial society, hunting and gathering society, nomadic society. We will also learn about rural and urban society as well as information society. Now let's study about the meaning of society. Kids, society is the most prominent subject for sociology. Sociology is a science devoted to the study of human society scientifically. Okay, we get to know each and every detail about the human society over here. Human being and society are the two faces of the same coin. Okay, human beings cannot live alone and prefer to live in social groups. Society aids holistic development of human beings. We cannot survive alone. Okay, when we are in group we learn many things from the society. In society, many aspects like job, lifestyle, culture, thoughts, and ritual differ from one geographical area to another. If one enters a rural area, numerous cattle, sheep, and other domestic animals are visible. When we go from places to places, if you see in India itself, we all follow different types of culture. Similarly, farmers working in fields are also visible. A visit to city like Mumbai and Bengaluru reveals high-rise building, right? When we go to village, we see things related to the villages. But when we come to the city or Bangalore or Mumbai, any high-tech cities, we see the high-rise buildings, crowded human beings, more numbers of vehicles, slums, as well as industries. Government office, hospitals, and many other modern institutions can be seen in the city. So, definition of society is the web of social relationships in society, the, the complex relationship of social institutions and social group is known as society. Now, let me explain you the nature of society. The first nature is society is community of communities. It means grouping of people is called community. Okay. Society is formed with the grouping of many communities. Every society has family, neighborhood, rural and urban setting, political parties and other communities. Hence, H.M. Johnson says society is community of communities. The second nature is society is web of social relationship. It means society does not mean group of people only. It is a group with dynamic interactions between its members. Okay, it means that we get the time to know each other of the each member of the society. The scope of its relationship is vast and different from other, like each one of us are different, right? So our the scope and its relationship with each person will be of different kind. Okay, it includes teacher student. Few of the examples are teacher students, parents children, patients and doctors, husbands and wife, and many other relationships. Hence, MacLever and Page define society as a web of relationship. The third nature is similarity and resemblance. It means resemblance play an important role in society's structure. Resemblance in various physical and psychological traits of human being in the society. Since similarities are always visible in aspirations, values, interaction, love, and affection among the people, a sense of unity prevails among them. Cooperation and division of labor. Cooperation means getting together of people to work towards a common goal. Since the spirit of cooperation prevails among people, they respond to each other's needs. Division of labor means sharing the task among a group of people. Division of labor is done on the basis of, it's mostly done on the basis of age, interest, skill, and sex of the individual. Hence, cooperation and division of a labor is mutually exclusive. Next nature is social control. Kids, society has its own way of regulating human behavior. The modern society regulates its member through formal controls like laws, rules, and constitution. It also regulates through informal medium like customs, morals, and traditions. So these were the things through which we get a control over our behavior. Society is dynamic. Society is always dynamic because no society can survive without any changes. Changes that does happen, kids. In villages, you can see the changes slowly changing the things, but when you come to the cities, the changes are rapidly. Okay, in comparing to the villages, we get to see more changes in the cities. Kids, now let's go ahead and study the importance of society one by one. The first importance of the society is that it is universal. Kids, the human life and society go hand in hand. Human life is made possible by society. So, society was there before the birth of an individual and that even remains after his death. Okay, society doesn't end if one person dies, it continues. Okay, hence society is universal. The second one is necessary for protection and nourishment. Kids, society is needed for the nourishment and protection of individual and the social group. With its complex structure, cooperation, division of labor, social control, institution, and similarities, society takes care of the needs of human beings. Society also decides the aim and patterns of human beings. The features of human nature develop in society itself. Society provide proper channels to showcase one's talent. Okay, we all get a chance to show out our talents. It's only because of the society. It regulates the natural human weakness and desires, facilitating healthy growth. Kids, society also reinforces life. The vast aspect of society has enveloped our life. It not only envelops from outside, it envelops from inside as well. The relationship between human beings and society is not simple one. It is also complex and forming an individual's uniqueness, thoughts and emotions. We each one of us have a different kind of thinking, right? We are not the same. Now let's study about types of society. Student, you must know that society is not uniform. There are different types of societies, and societies are divided on based of their nature of job and work. The following are the types of societies: hunting and gathering society, pastoral society, agriculture society or rural society, urban society, industrial society, information society. Let's go ahead and study about all these societies in detail. The first one is hunting and gathering society. Kids, hunting and gathering society is the first stage of human development and changes. It is a simple and ancient society. It is very very small in size. The human beings were engaged in fishing, hunting animals, gathering foods from plants and treats, the role and the status in the society were fixed based on age and sex. There was no desire of accumulation of wealth. They were not money minded. The only thing was to eat the food and survive. And they were sharing the sources which were available at that time. And hunting was done using stone tools. Pastoral society. Kids, this is the second stage of human development, okay, of human societies. The process of engaging in animal husbandry of cattle like sheep, goat, cow, and buffalo from general substance is called pastoral society. This consisted of several of people. Okay, several people went for the cattle grazing. Cattle herding was a main occupation at those times. The society was under the leadership of single leader. Apart from tending cattle for substances, the members were engaged in fishing, hunting, and food gathering works as well. Nomadic and semi nomadic society. Kids, anthropologists had said that the post pastoral society are the same as nomadic society. According to an encyclopedia, nomadic life is a type of life movement of people from one place to another place in search of food and grassland. Business is called as nomadic life. This is different from migration. Okay, migration is totally different, whereas nomadic life is that people go places to play, like one place to other place, only in the search of food and shelter. Though the communities stayed for good in a particular place to practice agriculture and other professional, the people who stay in one place and practice agriculture and the other profession is known as semi nomadic society. Okay, based on the social security, available facilities for education and economic activity, the social status of nomadic tribes is understood. Agriculture society, which is also known as rural society. Kids, at this stage of changes and developments, human beings left nomadic life and settled in a place engaging in agriculture. Okay, they finally settled down in a place and started to to grow crops, started farming. This society is a village based society. Majority of people engage in agriculture related work. Producing food primarily through agriculture is another important feature. As you know, India is called as a land of villages and agricultures. In an ancient literature of India, there are reference of villages and their administration. In Rig Veda, the head of the village is called Gramashasta. A group of villages was called as Visha, Jana or Desha for administrative purpose. In Mahabharat, the head of the village is called Gramini. The chief of group of villages is called Dashamukhi or Shashtamukhi or Adipati. And with the invention of plough during 3000 BCE, the agriculture revolution started. Villages are the lifeline of the country. There are about 6 lakh villages in India and they have retained the Indian culture and traditions as well. Majority of people live in rural India. In rural India areas, 59% of men and 75% of women are engaged in agriculture directly. Now let's learn about the features of rural society. The first one is small in size. Kids, majority of Indians live in village as rightly noted by Max Weber. Villages are small in numbers and have less density of population. The second one is influence of primary and family relationship. Rural society have primary relationship. One can notice friendship, love and kindship among the individuals here. Family influences most of the social life. Joint family are the another major feature of Indian rural society. If you go to a village, you always see there a joint family. Okay, in some or the other way, joint family are the reason who are protecting the culture and the traditions of the society. Now let's study about simple economic life. Kids, Indian farming is based on nature. Rural life is simple and thrifty, okay? The people are not very posh in the villages. They are very simple and down to earth because they don't earn the money as we earn in the city, but still the lifeline which they maintain is very good. As there is limited source of income which is low, rural people led a life of simple and non luxury, okay, comparing to the city people. In spite of growth in civilization, rural people have retained their traditional customs and practices. Their independence of agriculture and tradition is the main reason of their low demands because they are staying in a village. Okay, for them a simple and healthy living is enough, whereas the people who are living in city, we go for job. Once we start earning, our desires increases, right? It's not that okay, I want a ice cream, but when I get a ice cream I will be satisfied. No, after that I'll be like, I need 10 more ice creams. Later I can purchase a ice cream shop. Okay, so desire never ends, but the people of village live a simple life. The fourth one is neighborhood. Kids, neighborhood is another main feature of rural societies. It takes part in all the public celebration, ritual marking, death and birth, and in festivals. In Karnataka, the neighborhood is identified as Keri or Oni. In Maharashtra, it is called as Ward. Now let's study about the structure of agriculture society. Kids, agriculture is the major economic activity that takes place in agriculture society. The structure of agriculture society can be in relation to the land holdings, relationship and with the land and agriculture activity. Let's study about them one by one. Jajmani system. Kids, Jajmani system and caste system were working together once. Then, Jajmani system was the basic nature of socio-economic life of rural society. In caste system, one caste depends on the other caste for survival. There's a reason like we started to depend on one another. Okay, like we needed one or the other person for the help. In Jajmani system, there are two major classes, one serving class and another served class. The serving class provides services related to agriculture and agriculture related works. And and this class received provisions in return for its service. Okay, the people should used to provide the services and later they received a service related to their work done by them. Now let's study about the zamindari system. Kids, zamindar is a Persian word. It means one who has land. The system zamindar has its root in the ruler Delhi sultans. During 14th century, the word zamindar indicated the head of a region. The title was owned by Rajasthan Roy and Rana, indicated land ownership. By the time zamindars were emerging as an important class because these people had the lands. The word zamindari came into use during the Mughal rule. Kids, the spelling of Mughal over here, they have done a printing mistake, so kindly ignore it. During the time of Akbar, Any person who has a hereditary right to share to have and share in a farmer's crops was officially called as zamindar. By 17th century, the word zamindar became prominent. The Rayatwari system. Kids, the British government undertook new ways of taxing farmers of India. When British government moved to tax farmers, zamindars started harassing them more. In order to save farmers from the exploitation, the Code of Directors introduced Rayatwari system in 1817. Mahalwari system. Kids, when the Zamindar system and Rayatwari system failed to yield the desired result because it was a flop, they didn't receive the result which they were expecting. The British thought of another system named Mahalwari system. Under this system, based on the yield of the state or mahal, tax was fixed on the owners of the such mahal. A few among the mahal owners were selected and given the roles of supervising and collecting tax. The people who belongs to mahals owner, like they were given the in charge. Okay, they had to supervise and they had to collect the tax from the farmers. Tenancy system. Kids, the farmer who have secured the rights on the land is called tenant. Under this system, there are two types of tenants. One is permanent tenants and the second one is temporary tenant. Permanent tenant means he has the commanded little ownership over the land they are tilling, whereas the temporary tenants have no claim over the land for their tilling, or when they are doing the farming they don't have any command over that. The landlords always had the right to take away the land from the temporary tenants and hand it over to to others as per their wish. In order to prevent this exploitation, government bought tenancy prevention acts. And this was a move which was later known as land reforms. Maximum land ceiling limit is put under this act. Now let's get started with urban society. Kids, urban society are called ideal societies. They are very complex in their structures. Urban society have dense population involving varieties of jobs and work. As you see in cities, we are more in number, right, comparing to the village, and we have different types of jobs and works. Often they are pushed to the brink of the serve problem due to overcrowding of population. Still, the urban society are always welcomed. Still, we don't have any space, but still we always welcome to the people to the urban society. Urban way of life is not new to India. It is one of the oldest and the oldest civilization that had urban based living. Sindhu civilization is the most improved urban way of life after Mesopotamia and Egypt civilization. And what here I am trying to say is that urban life and civilized life complement each other. In other words, urban life emerges out of civilization. Industrial society. Kids, industrialization is the another type of industrial society. In this, people utilize the scientific production ways and searching for energy sources is the future of this society. Okay, here they search for the new things to utilize the resources which are available. Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, Brazil and Mexico join the list. Majority of the population depends on industrial work for the sustenance and very small group depend on the agriculture. If we compare these both things, we have seen, right, comparing to the villages, people are working in the cities more. So automatically we look up for the industrialization. If there is no proper industrialization or work, do you think we will be able to survive? No, right? And that's the reason the majority of the population depends on the industrial work for their sustenance. Students, in industry, production depends totally on automatic energy, or you can say automatic technology. The production is in large quantity, and this depends on the division of the labor. Okay, so what happened later, due to the influence of industrial revolution, there was a paradigmic shift in the process of the production in the European societies. As a result, the production process became machinalized. Okay, now earlier they used to use even the more manpower to get these things done, right? Along with the technology, automatic technology, they needed man to make those things proper. But later what happened, as it started to transform, it was replaced totally by the technology. Okay, like earlier they used to use steam energy, right? Later, now we use it as electric energy. Now we will be going through the features of urban societies. The first one is industry based economy. Kids, in this, society is divided into many classes. It will help capitalist, labor class, and business class. Most of the economy activities are related to the industries. The second one is professional work. Most of the work in the society are professional by nature. They need specific training and skills. Okay, like when we are into a professional thing, we must be very trained and we should have a skill. It's not that all the person can do all the work. Each one of us has a different quality, and if we are into the industrial sector, they make sure that we are trained and skilled in the work which we are doing. So it's very important to be trained and skilled. Transportations and communication. Kids, for any industries who are in the business of exporting and importing, transportation and communications is the most important thing. This network is used for transporting raw materials and finished goods also. The fourth feature is increase in migration. Kids, industrial revolution after a deep impact on rural agriculture economy. This in turn affected the traditional occupations and institutions. Due to its influence, the joint family of rural societies became nuclear families. Moreover, industrial societies faster individually due to the professionalism of labor. Okay, because we started the migration, like the migration increased, people started to come to the cities, leaving their villages. So what happened? Joint families became nuclear families. And that's all from this chapter. Thank you very much for paying attention. Have a great day ahead.